Hi guys, so I want to show you this report from Byline Times, who do amazing reporting. I do recommend subscribing to their channel. Now, they traveled to Northern Ireland some days ago and they met with members of the Unionist community. Some of them had voted for Brexit and they're not very happy with the current situation. And, well, they blame Boris Johnson for a lot of these ills. So let's hear what they had to say.
I voted leave myself, and if someone were to ask me whether I vote leave again, I'm not sure is the honest answer.
I'm not sure I would vote again. So that's not a no. It's not a yes, but it's not a no. Now, I tried to get into the mind of these people and understand, okay, why would you look at the problem that's facing the union, that they view it as a problem facing the union? And does he not understand that this is because of Brexit? Brexit created this problem. Now, I think maybe they don't understand that. Maybe this guy here doesn't understand it. More Holmes, he doesn't understand it. And he thinks that maybe it's related to the EU deciding something, or maybe Boris Johnson has messed up in some way. No, this is Brexit. I really wish I could speak to these people directly and explain to them the problems you're facing at the moment, the issues, the threat you see to the union itself is because of Brexit, not because of so much because of what Boris Johnson has done recently. It's because of the Brexiteers and the DUP, your own friends in Northern Ireland. They have decided this because there was an option some time ago for the UK, including Northern Ireland, Great Britain and Northern Ireland, to stay within the single market and the customs union, and nothing would have changed. But those people, including Boris Johnson, said, no, we don't want that. We want a border somewhere. And to defend the Good Friday Agreement, the border was put in the Irish Sea.
Well, we were lied to over Brexit. We should have been told what Brexit was going to look like and then vote for it. Then that.
You were told that, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to lay this out now, but I'm sorry to tell you now, but yes, you were told. The European Union had told people, you know, if you vote for this, this is going to be the consequences. Remainers had told you, if you vote for this. The ironic thing is that Northern Ireland voted to remain. So and once again, you can't say we weren't told. Yes, you decided to listen to people like Boris Johnson, who's a compulsive liar. You decided to listen to people like Nigel Farage, who has a dubious track record. Once again, Boris Johnson lied to people. Boris Johnson is a compulsive liar, and people trusted him. That's the problem.
That would have been sensible. You would have known what you were voting for. We weren't voting for this.
There's people within our community feel like we've been pawns in all this.
He's a traitor. He's sold out the people of Northern Ireland. He's betrayed the union. The union that many people all across the United Kingdom fought and died for, and Boris Johnson has partitioned the union. So he's he's a traitor.
I think in Northern Ireland there is very little credibility left for him.
Me personally, I can't speak for anybody else, but the guy's a clampet. The guy's a buffoon.
The guy's a buffoon. I have to agree 100% there. But it's not so much he's a buffoon. This is not about Boris Johnson messing up and the border being put on in the Irish Sea. This is Brexit. If Boris Johnson was not there, perhaps the situation would have been different. Boris Johnson went to Northern Ireland and he told people, don't worry, we're not going to put a border on the island of Ireland, or we're not going to put a border in the Irish Sea, but we're still going to leave the single market and the customs union. There was no other option. And Boris Johnson was telling people, I can give you a unicorn. I can deliver the impossible. Now, if somebody tells you I can deliver you the impossible, you have to be a bit cautious of that. If the person is a compulsive liar, then I'm sorry, you know, there's a certain amount of sympathy I can have for people, but if a compulsive liar who basically has lie written across his forehead, somebody who has lied, who's, you know, built a career out of lying. You know, when he worked for the newspapers, when he was in Brussels, writing about bendy bananas and things like this, selling these types of ideas to the public. Then when he was mayor of London, lying about bridges he was going to build and things he was going to invest in. For me, one of the biggest was when he said he would lie down in front of bulldozers to stop another runway at Heathrow Airport. And when the time came to lie down in front of bulldozers, he was the foreign secretary jetting off to Singapore, I think it was, or Hong Kong, I don't remember which it was. But, you know, at what stage, how many examples of unreliability or lying, basically, do you have to take before you realize, actually, this person is not trustworthy?
Boris Johnson, our own Prime Minister, came to this country and promised Unionists in particular within this country that he would never allow a customs border between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. To use his words, he said it would happen over his dead body. And now look at us.
But remember he said, I'd prefer to be dead in a ditch. Boris Johnson, as I said before, is a compulsive liar. Boris Johnson likes to tell people things that he thinks they want to hear, and then he'll think about the consequences later. But I thought most people understood this. I thought most people understood that Boris Johnson is a liar and he only thinks about himself and he'll only look out for himself. So why do people continue to put their trust in someone like Boris Johnson or Nigel Farage? You know, but Boris Johnson is the one behind the wheel here. He sold a unicorn to people. Yes, we can avoid a border in the Irish Sea. Yes, we can avoid a border on the island of Ireland. And yes, we can leave the single market and the customs union. All you need to do is believe enough. Believe in Brexit. And then you'll be able to have your unicorn.
There's a feeling of betrayal.
The people, they're all angry. You know, we can't get stuff in, and I go out to the shops and there's barely anything there.
He continues to maintain that there's no impediments to trade, that there is no customs border, that Northern Ireland will still be a full part of the UK, and everyone can see that that's not the case. It's almost
Sorry.
It's a Trumpian tactic.
It's almost a Trumpian tactic. Or it's like the emperor has no clothes story. You know, Boris Johnson says, don't worry, there isn't a border there, when there is a border. And he will continue to say that. You know, you could actually put Boris Johnson in front of the border and he'd say there's no border.
There's a lot of people obviously not happy with it and the complications it's causing them.
Well, let's hope it doesn't go back to the olden days that we had, kind of way we had a lot of borders all in and around, kind of way, coming from down south as well as, you know, Northern Ireland. I think the people in Northern Ireland in general don't want any borders.
Yeah, and I think, unfortunately, there is a real risk that things go back to the way they were. There is a real risk that certain elements will unearth their weapons, take them out of storage, and return to some sort of war. I don't like to use that word, but it's looking more and more likely because of Brexit. And unfortunately, there are people within the DUP, within the unionist community, who are very happy to allow the loyalists, the loyalist paramilitaries, to unearth these weapons, to take them out of storage, and use them against the security forces, use them against the Catholic community, use them against the EU representatives in Northern Ireland, and against the Irish government, knowing full well that they are responsible for that. They are the ones who campaigned for Brexit. They are the ones who voted for it, and have never taken the responsibility that they have been that they have for all of this. You think the Tories are bad? The DUP are the Tories on steroids. They will never accept the mistakes that they've made. They will always point the finger at someone else, and they're willing to rattle the cage of unsavory figures and entities and groups in order to deflect from them. Let me know in the comments section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?